He has a passion for helping people achieve their dreams, both professionally and personally. He has served in the U.S. Navy for 5 years. For the past 24 years, he has taught leadership and professional development to over 50,000 people in 22 countries. He is a highly regarded speaker for the U.S. intelligence community. He has also worked with 20% of the Fortune 500 companies. He uses his unique style of storytelling and humor to engage, educate, and empower his audience. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Jarema.
Farookh, thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is a pleasure to be with you. I'm coming from Baltimore, Maryland, United States, where I'm from.
I met Mark Jarema in the US when we were together for the Les Brown session, and Mark was phenomenal. Well, the way he dressed, wow, that was something. I was looking at his shoes and the way that he puts his blazer, and every single day he was changing his shoes, and it was shining like anything. My dad always told me, if you want to look at somebody, if you want to see how the person has been dressed, don't look at his hairstyle, start from the shoes. And Mark, you had set an example that day. You really amazed everybody.
Thank
Mark,
you. That's become my staple. What I'm known for is I wear different colored shoes that will match the outfit that I'm wearing. I don't know how I got into that, but that's how I become known, the man with the shoes.
Everybody has a story, and this is how I start with everybody. Everybody has a story, and you have a strong story. What's your story?
Thanks, Farookh, for asking. Everybody has a story, and parts of my story may not be too different from other people, what they've experienced in life. And I think that's what helps me to relate to people. But about 10 years ago, I was really living what I thought was the dream. I was an executive at a company. I was able to sell some stock, and I had some extra spending money. And then I went in a 4-month period through that transformation of life. I lost my job overnight, which I didn't expect. I made some bad investments, and so I lost all my stock money. And then I took good money and put it after bad money. So I had $2.22 left in my bank account. When you have no job and when you have no money, you can't pay your bills. And so my house foreclosed. So the one place that I really loved calling home was taken away from me. And then I was diagnosed with a unique form of cancer, and my relationship with what I thought at that time was the love of my life ended. And that all happened in a 4-month period. So I call it going from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, or what I call sea level, below sea level. So that was a very rough transition in my life. And that's where my story starts, of how I made my way back to the top of the mountain, or continuing my rise to the top of the mountain.
How did you rise back to the level that you are today? Because you are very well known as a speaker. So how did you come back to that level? What was the push?
Right. So, when you go through a transition like that, you want to sort of blame everybody but yourself. I wasn't really taking responsibility. One of the interesting things, we are all living the exact life we want to be living right now. I want to say that again, because that is very profound. We are all living the exact life we want to be living right now, because it's the choices we make in life.
Absolutely.
It's as if you've customized your life. You have the exact relationship you want. You have the finances you want. You have the job you want. You have the friends you want. It's all because of the choices. You are not the product of your circumstances. You are the product of your choices. And now here's the good news. When I tell people that, some people will look at me and go, hey, that's okay. I like that you said that, Mark, because I really enjoy my life. I'm doing well. And so I'll take responsibility. Other people that hear me say that, I see the blank look on their face, that they're thinking, uh-oh, I hope there's more to life than what I'm living right now. Now, here's the good news. You can have as much to life as you want, but we may have to admit we have to make different choices in life, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And this was the trap I fell into. I was a hard worker. I had a good heart. I liked helping people. I felt I was a good person. But that's not enough. You see, when I fell from the top of the mountain, I was just waiting every day for success to come knock on the door and say, hey, Mark, you're a good person. I know you've gone through a rough period, but come on through me. Let me show you the way again. And that just doesn't happen in life. In fact, what happened is when I fell from the top of the mountain, I wasn't protecting my mind. And I started to blame and complain everyone and everything, if it moved, of why I was in the position I was. Instead of understanding it was some of the choices I've made that resulted from the fall down the mountain, I wanted to displace and place that blame on other people. And then I met a life coach. And one of the things that
before we go there, how would you define a life coach?
Yeah, somebody, and I'm going to talk about this a little later, but somebody who believes in you, believes in your dream, who's willing to give you critical feedback that you may not want to hear, but you need to hear.
Okay.
And we all need some kind of coach. Professional athletes need coaches. And when, asking for help is a sign of strength and not weakness. And that was something I learned in life. For many years, I wanted to do it all on my own. And I felt that I didn't want people to know I needed help. I might feel embarrassed. And then I met a friend of mine, we'll call him a coach. And he pointed out that I did not have a life problem, that I had an attitude problem. Problem. Now that shocked me when he said that, because Farookh, to be honest with you, my attitude was pretty good at the time. And he said, here's another lesson. Sometimes good is not good enough. And he promised me that for every level I'm willing to improve my attitude, that my life will improve. Now, before I get to that, let's just talk about what happens.
Yeah.
Whatever you focus on in life will expand. Whatever you focus on, you give energy to. So when I was going through that rough transition in my life, whenever we have something negative or a challenge in our life, we tend to want to wake up and then just focus on that issue. And what we're doing is we're giving power to that issue to expand in our life, and it will expand in our life. If you're going through a financial trouble right now, if you wake up in the morning and just focus on your financial troubles, I will guarantee your financial troubles will probably just expand. So what I was doing, I was getting up every morning. I was just focusing on, I had no job. I had no money. I lost my house. I was focused on all the negative things. And the more I focused on those, the more issues that I started having in my life. So I had no choice but to listen to my friend, because I had nowhere to go but up at this point, and to work on my attitude. And see, your attitude in life, Farookh, is either connecting you or disconnecting you. Your attitude's either working for you or against you. It's either leading the way or in the way. It's either helping you or hurting you. And everything starts with your attitude. Because your attitude will be tied to an emotion, which will then be tied to the decisions you make in life, which will give you the outcomes. Your attitude determines your emotions, which are going to determine your decisions, which will give you the outcomes. So the better your attitude, the better ultimately your decisions will be, which will give you better outcomes in life. And there's two things I learned about attitude that are pretty funny. One is only you can choose what attitude that you wake up in the morning with. Nobody else can choose that attitude for you. And the second thing is, that's even more powerful, your attitude teaches other people how you want to be treated. I have coached a couple people in the last few years that were struggling trying to advance their careers, and it only took me a few minutes of spending time with them to figure out why, and it was because of their attitude. Their attitude was holding them back in life. And even though I had a good attitude, my friend encouraged me, take your good attitude to the great level. If you have a great attitude, take it to the exceptional level. In other words, for every level, once again, we improve our attitude, we can improve our life. But, I found this to be extremely hard because let's face it, there's 5 things you're going to run into every day.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to run into changes, challenges, the unexpected, and negative people in your own story. Changes, challenges, negative people, the unexpected in your own story. And, we're all human. And if you have a positive mind with a positive attitude, doesn't mean you're going to have a great day every day, or you're not going to run into resistance, but you're going to be able to deal with those things more effectively. And the reason why this is, hard to have a great attitude every day is, let's take the average workplace. In the average workplace, let's say you were to go in the morning and you have a great attitude and you're going to look for solutions and not problems, and you're going to smile. What does everybody want to do to you that's going to sit around you? They want to take out an arrow and just shoot you in the back.
Absolutely.
Because we get jealous of happy people with a great attitude. And what they're doing is they're saying, hey, Mr. or Miss Great Attitude, we want you to come down to our level and conform. Conform. You see, 90% of the people out in the world just want to conform. They really don't pursue their dreams. They're just happy being average.
Yep.
And, if you take CON and conform, that stands for con. That's to deceive or lie to yourself that you really are living your dream. And that's why having a great attitude is so important. A couple months ago, Farookh, I was going out to wait for a shuttle bus, and there was a lady there standing with her group of friends. And as I walked by the group, she said, "Be careful what you say. There's Mr. Positive Thinker." And she laughed, and the whole group laughed. So I just stopped and gave her a look. And once I looked at her, she says, "Well, don't you ever have a bad day, Mark?" And I said, "Yes, I'm human. I get frustrated. I'm going to have challenges in my life. I might lose my cool every now and then, but I don't become a volunteer victim. I choose, because life is a choice, not to live in victimhood." So going back to the whole beginning, when I fell down from the top of the mountain, it was my attitude that I worked on every single day. And just because I had a great attitude doesn't mean my life improved right away, but it's consistency. You have to protect your mind. You have to feed your mind every day with that great attitude to help with your decisions that will give you the better outcomes.
Excellent. And you just reminded me of Jack Field, because Jack Field, he has got a formula for success, and it's called the E plus R is equal to O. The E stands for the events that happens in our life. It could be good events, it could be bad events, it could be worse, like what happened in your life as well. Then the R stands for reaction or response. You either react or you respond. Response is what exactly you did, taking the attitude, positive attitude, stepping back, and then responding to the event that happens in your life. Because in some cases, an event happens and one person would take it in a different manner, the other person would take it in an entirely different manner. And based on your reaction or your response, the outcome is different. And that's exactly what you brought in. You also spoke about the choices that we make in our life. There are a few C's, and then you spoke about consistency. And when it comes to success, these are the first few steps. I normally call it the C's to success, like choice, the connectivity or the communication. Then comes your consistency, competency, all those comes. It all starts with the letter C. And you really highlighted 2 of them. One is the choice, and the other one is consistency. Very good, Mark. Mark, I know that you are a leadership guru, and that is your passion. You have been in the speaking industry for around about 24 years, and you have changed lives of people. Why did you take leadership rather than personal development? Because there are 2 industries. One is called the personal development industry, and another one is called the leadership industry. Why did you very specifically take leadership as your passion?
Well, I do both. So I teach personal development classes, professional development classes, and I also speak to leadership. So that's one line of my business, because I enjoy being in the classroom and trying to take what I've learned in life, making a simple message out of it for people to be able to walk away from my training sessions and be able to apply that information right away. training is an emotional event. This is why some trainings make a difference in people's lives, and some trainings we go to walk away and we get no results. We have to, as instructors, and what I try to do is reach some type of emotion in my classroom and keep that message so simple that people will want to go back to the office and apply what they've learned, to make an impact, because that's the name of the game. When somebody leaves training, they're going to sell more. Are they going to raise the level of their customer service or the service to their internal employees? Are they going to develop a new process? Whatever it is, that's what I try to take pride on, is making that impact in the classroom. And then the other thing that I enjoy doing is delivering keynote speeches or speeches to organizations, and it's called Make Your Mark, Power Steps to Live the Life You Love. So it's kind of the two lines. I do the instruction and the keynote.
Wow. And Mark, I also noted that your name, M-A-R-K, the acronym, let me put it that way, the acronym, you are coming with a training or a keynote which is connected with your name. Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity. So the title of my speech, and it will also be the title of my new book that's coming out this summer. It's called Make Your Mark, Power Steps to Live the Life You Love. And I use my first name, M-A-R-K, as 4 pillars of what people can focus on to take their life to the next level. The M stands for mastery. The A stands for accountability. The R, reinvent. And K, kindred spirits. And I'll just touch on each of those letters and see if we can take a lesson from those. The M in mastery, one of the things we must do in life is master something that we love. The average is over. There's a book out there called Average is Over. But we must master something we love. And one of the places we can look to master is our purpose in life. Only 20% of people know what their purpose is in life. Only 20% of people know why they get out of bed in the morning. Most people, they think their purpose is to go to a job, but JOB stands for just overboard.
Absolutely.
Just overboard. And if you're just going to your job, you're being driven from greed and fear. And those are 2 emotions that'll keep you from being successful. Greed, because you need the money, and fear, if you don't have the money, you might not be able to support your family. I believe mastering your purpose in life is a critical step to really living your dreams. Most people spend most of their time, Farookh, living somebody else's dreams or living their fears. And to find your purpose is tough. And the way to know if you know your purpose is, I always tell people to talk out loud to themselves. Because when your brain hears your voice out loud, it thinks a little differently. And say out loud, my purpose in life is to, and then say it. And if you can't articulate it quickly, then congratulations. Hopefully my voice right now, and hopefully the message I'm delivering to you right now will start you on a journey to find your true purpose in life.
Absolutely.
Now, it may take a day, it may take a month, it may take a year, but go on that journey to find your purpose. Some of the questions you can ask yourself are, what would you like to do all day long that you would love and not even worry about having to get a paycheck? What would spring you out of bed at 5 a.m. so excited just to go do it? What are you good at doing? What would you love to do that you're willing to sacrifice for? What do you have passion for in life? In other words, there's a whole list of questions we could go down. Oprah Winfrey always said, follow your passion, you're going to find your purpose. But finding your purpose is when life really becomes fun. Life, once you find your purpose, then you have a target to shoot for. We can't hit the target if we don't know what it is. We'll never be able to hit it. So the M in Make Your Mark is mastery. Really mastering an expertise, mastering your purpose. The A in Make Your Mark stands for accountability. And that is being accountable to yourself, as well as building an accountability team.
And what is it? May I stop you there? What is the difference between responsibility and accountability? If you could just.
Yeah, great question. So they can be, used interchangeably, but I think accountability is a stronger word than responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Responsibility, that can be shared. In other words, whose fault is that?
Mm-hmm.
Who's responsible for that? And many names then can go down the line. Well, Sarah was responsible and Jim was responsible, but accountability means the buck stops with you. When you're accountable, you live with inner locus and not outer locus.
Yep.
People that live with outer locus, they believe that the life events and other people are in charge of their success. People that are accountable live with inner locus, and they believe that they take 100% accountability with zero excuses. And you might ask, well, how can you be accountable to everything that happens in your life?
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you're going to work and you get a nail in your tire, you couldn't avoid that nail, but you will be 100% accountable for the attitude you have for the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference between accountability and responsibility. I think accountability is a little stronger word.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
But in the accountability part, we must build our accountability team.
Mm-hmm.
The slowest way to success is by yourself.
Yep.
When I work with people and I say, who are you working with? And they say, I'm working solo. The first thing I say is, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to climb a small hill in life, you don't need to change your clothes. You can do that all by yourself.
Yep.
But if you're going to climb Mount Everest, you're not going to do that by yourself. That goal is so big, you're going to assemble a team of experts, high altitude breathing experts, nutritionists, climbing experts, ice experts, whatever it takes. You're going to surround yourself with the team of experts. And success is like that. When you really start living your dream, you have to assemble yourself with a team of people around you that are willing to help you recognize the blind spots. They believe in you. They're going to inspire you, but they're also going to give you that feedback, like we said in the beginning, that you may not want to hear, but that you need to hear. And, accountability to ourself, that is surrounding ourselves with the right people, Farookh.
Yep.
One negative person in your life will mentally and physically drain you. If you hang around with 9 broke people, guess who's going to be the 10th? If you're the smartest one in your group, you have to find a new group.
Absolutely.
So one of the things we have to do, and that is a tough process, is to evaluate your family members, your coworkers, your best friends, your inner circle, and identify who are you spending time with. The people you're spending time with, do they inspire you or do they drain you? Because not everybody's going to have a seat on your bus to success.
Yep.
And so it's important to understand, be accountable to yourself. Who are you hanging out with? And be accountable of building your dream team to help you to your next goal. So that's the A. In the R is to reinvent yourself. To reinvent yourself. We have to have a major disruption of our thinking, our belief system, because everything we have believed, experienced, and done up until this point in life isn't going to probably help us get to the next level.
Absolutely.
And in order to get to that next level, we have to reinvent ourselves. Farookh, our most dominant thought as humans is a negative thought. And 80% of our negative thoughts go undetected by the conscious mind. And we've already told ourselves that we're not worthy to live our dream. We've already told ourselves we'll probably fail. We've already told ourselves we're not good enough to go and live what we really want to do. And, I explain to people, we have kind of an angel and that devil that sit on opposite shoulders. That angel that sits on our shoulder, it sits, about this high, and it pokes us in the morning of the dreams that we really want to accomplish. It makes us smile in the morning. It may be writing a book. It may be changing careers, whatever it is. And we take a moment and we pause and go, wow, if I could just do it over again, that's what I would be doing. And then on the other shoulder, that devil's this huge monster. And that huge monster is telling us, you're not good enough. You don't have enough education. You don't have enough money. And we tend to listen to that monster. Not only do we listen to it, we keep feeding it. Here, grow a little larger. You know, we have a belief system. We have positive and negative beliefs. And the most damaging of all beliefs is called a self-limiting belief. And most people just need to get out of their own way. Because unless they can disrupt that belief system that they have, that they're not good enough, or some people are afraid to dream because they're going to fail, then they're not going to reach the next level to their life. And I said a key word in there I just want to address real quick. Fail, F-A-I-L. I love that word because it stands for first attempt in learning. Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn, but we never lose. You have to fail forward. You have to fail your way to success. No story that I've ever read, somebody has accomplished greatness without failing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's Thomas Edison, who invented electricity, said, I didn't fail once. I learned 10,000 ways not to do something.
Absolutely.
So anyway, failing's a good thing, but we got to change that limiting belief system, that the way of our thinking. And this is once again where a coach can help us. And then the K. The K stands for Kindred Spirits. And you will need people to help you get to the next level in your life. You will need people to help you accomplish your dreams, but they're only going to want to help you if they like you.
Absolutely.
You know? And some people just don't get that. Some people, they go out of their way just not to be likable. I know some people who can't stand themselves, and they always think that if they get a new job or if they switch towns that they're going to be happy. I call that destination disease. I say wherever you're going to go, you're still with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Spirits, one of the ways to build kindred spirits is this. Farookh, if I wanted you to be impressed with me, I can do that either through the direct way and tell you how impressive I am, but that's not going to go over real well. Nobody likes somebody with an ego, EGO, edging God out. Nobody likes that. Or I can do it an indirect way and be impressed with you. If I want you to like me, I first have to like you. If I want you to trust and believe in me, I first have to believe and trust in you. The other day I was having a couple beers with my buddy, and we were at happy hour for about an hour. And he was complaining the whole time about his wife. Now, normally I would not listen to this negative conversation, but since he was paying the bill, I chose to listen. Now, I knew what was going to happen at the end of this conversation. You probably can see it coming yourself. He said, how do I change her? How do I change her? I said, don't worry about her, change you. I said, the two things you've just finished telling me is you don't feel valued and you feel like she doesn't listen to you. And I said, I can probably assure you, you don't value her and you're not listening to her. Absolutely. So it's a gift to have kindred spirits. And also the two other things that go with kindred spirits is learning how to forgive and being grateful in life. And those are two attributes, if we could call them that probably I developed a little later on my climb back to the top of the mountain. I maybe didn't buy into what my coach was saying, what I needed to do to achieve an attitude of gratitude and forgiveness. But I will tell you, it's two of the things that I think changed my life the most. And, forgiveness is something that we all struggle with because it's tough, but you must forgive those people that have hurt you the most. And you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. And you're not forgetting what happened, but you're setting yourself free. You're allowing yourself to move on, because every time we think about that situation of somebody who hurt us, we're letting them victimize ourselves over and over and over. And you must forgive yourself. When I made a lot of bad choices in life, people were asking me, how did you lose all your money? How
Mm-hmm.
could you let your house foreclose? And that
Mm-hmm.
made me feel worse because I didn't have any good answers.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I woke up one day and said, today's the first day of my new past. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
make more mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get that elephant off my shoulders. And gratitude, just really being thankful in life. And I'll just give the viewers a little tip. To really reach that sense of being grateful in life, you must journal every day, at least 5 minutes, and be specific. And I always tell people, write 4 things a day of what you're thankful for. And be
Mm-hmm.
specific. If you're thankful for food, don't write I'm thankful for food. Write I'm thankful because the food nourishes me. Be as
Mm-hmm.
specific as you can. Write 3 things you're grateful for. Then the 4th thing is why you're grateful for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to be grateful for yourself, because as Les Brown says, we're all full of greatness,
Yep.
but we have to believe that in order to take our lives to the next level. So that's the MARK. Just
Mm-hmm.
briefly: mastery, accountability, reinventing ourselves, and then living with kindred spirits.
Wow, that was a great lesson, Mark. Mark, you are a certified trainer, coach, speaker from both 2 top leaders in the world. Number one is Les Brown, and the other one is John Maxwell. Uh, how did you articulate, or how did you design your program from these 2 leaders?
Right. So I used the John Maxwell information in my leadership trainings,
Mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm,
my personal development trainings. I really studied John, his message, his books. He has 100 books out there, and I really connected with his message and
mm-hmm,
his story, and how he teaches how to take your life to the next level from a classroom perspective, if you will.
mm-hmm.
And then I ran across Les Brown. And Les Brown is more the motivational type, more the tell your story, and helping millions around the world get inspired and use their greatness
Mm-hmm.
to live the life that they've always dreamed. And so I saw 2 very distinct programs. Both are world class, and I combined the 2. I used the Les Brown. I'm currently studying with Les Brown. Les Brown, I'm proud to say, is one of my mentors,
Mm-hmm.
and he's helping me really craft my message and my story to reach, hopefully, and follow in his footsteps someday, and speak all over the world to millions to how to live a better life. And then in the classroom, I'm using the John Maxwell techniques on the leadership side.
One of your top training program is all about trust building, if I'm right. Would you like to speak on that?
Well, one of the subjects that I teach for leadership is called 7 Pillars of Trust. And what I have found in the workplace is that leaders will diagnose what's going on with their teams.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a lack of customer service.
Yep.
It will be maybe a lack of teaming. There might be an issue with interpersonal skills. Maybe they recognize productivity going down. And when the leader starts to notice any of those issues that I mentioned, it may not be those issues at all. What I have found most of the time is the issue is that there's a lack of trust between leadership and rank and file.
Mm-hmm.
And if leadership focuses on building trust with their teams, they will see those issues go away. And this isn't somebody's fault, by the way. You have great leaders and you have great teams, but just because there's no trust there, you can start seeing these problems happen in organizations. So what I try to do on the leadership side is work with leaders and teach them what are 7 things they can do to build trust with their teams to have a high-performing organization. Because a lack of trust in an organization will be a leader's biggest expense.
Mm-hmm.
Those organizations that have trust between leadership and rank and file will outperform their sister organizations by 200%.
Great. Excellent. Mark, do you conduct the program online, or it's more of face-to-face classroom style?
Most of my programs right now, I'm an employee of the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
So all my classes right now are conducted for the government in a classroom setting.
Mm-hmm.
But over this next year, I will be starting a side business, and I'll be offering some classes that will be online. I just started a YouTube channel just recently, and I post about 3 to 4 short videos a week if anybody's interested. But if you go to YouTube and type in Mark Jarema Team, MarkJarema, and the word team, TEAM, you'll see I have about 85 videos that are posted there right now that I just launched. And once again, I update that on a weekly basis.
I do watch your videos, and your videos are absolutely fantastic. They are very short. It's around about 2 to 3 minutes, and it's all very specific to a very specific topic. I love to watch your videos. Mark, before we conclude, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, I would encourage everybody to really think about what is the life that they would love to live. What is their purpose? What is it that you really want to do that you're not doing today? What is it that you would love to jump out of bed and go do? You know, when you make your mark in life, you start living your dream. And remember, your dream will begin at the edge of your comfort zone. That's when life really begins to get exciting. Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. So we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. But as I said in the beginning, most people are either living their fears or living someone else's dream. As Les Brown says, I don't need to know you to know that you're full of greatness. And now it's up to you to make the right choices in life, to assemble your team, to become an expert, to reinvent yourself, and live with kindred spirits, and you'll live the life that you love.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mark. Mark, for me, this was not an interview. It was more than an interview. It was like a lesson from a trainer or a teacher or an instructor. I'm going to grab the video and I'm going to go through the video again and take some notes. Absolutely fantastic. It was a learning for me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Jarema.
Thank you, Farookh, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anytime.